At Fiber Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Viber Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Viber Finance. We are the future of crypto.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. My name is Adam, the CEO of Vibra Finance. If you are not aware, we are crypto consultants. Been doing it for 3 years, been in crypto for almost 6 now. So if you're not following us on Twitter, follow at Vibra Finance. Starting to use it now. We'll be doing some spaces here in the near future, some giveaways, all that good stuff. So give us a follow on there. Much appreciated. So let's get into some of the bubbles today. What's up, John May? How you doing, my man? Get that elbow cough. Gotta get rid of that. Stay away from Irwin. I'm telling you, that thing is contagious. Once you get it, you don't stop. So looking at the daily here, look, surprising flare up 19%. You know, if anybody here is in flare at all, yesterday the first drop was given, the first of 36, and I got 20% of my bag airdrop for free yesterday. And I heard that you're going to pretty much 10x your bag if you delegated from day one over the next 3 years. So that's passive income right there. That's what we love on this channel. Passive income, free money, and putting your money to work for you. Obviously, Hex is the king with the T-share, but we are now fell under 7 cents. But that's all right. When you go vertical, you got to retrace. You know, it's not healthy going straight up like that, parabolic, because you will come as violently back down 99% of the time. So, you know, Arbitrum airdrop. This was a big event in crypto. A lot of people were waiting about this, talking about it. And sure enough, it's came and gone. And there's pretty much, I'm not really hearing anything about it. You know, it was great. It was free money, but volume's down. You know, people are dumping, it looks like. And the excitement for Arbitrum seems to have passed. And I don't think when Pulse Chain launches, I don't think we'll get that silence that oh, it's here and now it's gone. Pulse Chain is going to uproot all of crypto. It's going to be like a tornado that comes through and just changes everything for the good. I really do think that, you know, where the market is, it's not looking good. You know, one thing that I've been worried about was the real estate market. You hear a lot of people comparing this to the 1970s with inflation, this and that. And I don't even like to compare the 1970s to right now. It was complete different times. You know, just everything about banking, loans, it was completely different. You know, for a bunch of first-time home buyers versus, you know, pre-approved, pre-qualified people that are going to put 3% down. So it's just a different world. But I was in commercial real estate for 10 years when I got out of college, started in 2008. And I started right during the crash in 08. So I witnessed it firsthand. I was there working through it every day. And this feels a lot different. You know, with the housing market, I don't think we're going to see the bubble because you have BlackRock, you have Grayscale, you have the Fed, you have China buying up so much real estate at unprecedented paces. It's never happened before. So I just don't see a mass inventory of houses hitting the market. The problem I do see, though, is that there's going to be the same problem in 2008 with all the houses that were the third mortgage that was given to, you know, a part-time Uber driver. And it was terrible. So loans were being given to people who couldn't physically pay them off. That's not the case right now. Right now, we're seeing a bunch of offices and businesses decrease the amount of space that they need. They're all of their leases that come up, they're all going to be downsizing. I can't think of very many businesses that are going to be trying to grow right now, especially after the pandemic. Everyone's working from home. It's a different world now. So all of the office buildings in this country that were built, they're built to different code than retail buildings, than residential buildings. Like, they're pretty much worthless. You can't take office space and convert it to retail or something. It just doesn't, it's not feasible. So I think I don't know what's going to happen. This glut of just office space is going to hit the market, and all of the loans in real estate, all those loans that's going to be the issue. The loans that go bad. It's not going to be residential loans. It's going to be commercial loans to businesses, to offices, to real estate landlords across the country. I really do see a big issue with that in the next couple of years. So keep an eye out on that. The commercial real estate market, I think, is going to drag the economy down over the next couple of years. And it's not going to be in housing. I really don't think that. But this was an interesting tweet. Over the next 5 years, more than $2.5 trillion in commercial real estate debt will mature. This is by far more than any 5-year period in history. Meanwhile, rates have more than doubled, and commercial real estate is only 60 to 70% occupied. Refinancing these loans is going to be incredibly expensive and likely lead to the next major crisis. The worst part, 70% of commercial real estate loans are owned by small banks. So if this doesn't feel like a coordinated effort to squeeze out the small banks across the board, I don't really know what is. This Operation Chokepoint, in effect, to squeeze out all the banks that are dealing with crypto exchanges and crypto companies. Well, that's changing. That, we saw that Silicon Valley Bank and Signet, they were taken over by I believe Bridge Bank and the FDIC. So now the Fed owns all of the technology that Signature Bank had. And so we were talking about that yesterday, about Larry Summers and Blythe Masters. And sure enough, Blythe Masters worked at JP Morgan. And back in the day, everything ties back to them. JP Morgan is at the heart of all this, when you really dig down and look at it. So this was from a week or two ago. Larry Summers affirms the Rothbardian critique of fractional reserve banking on Twitter. Silicon Valley Bank committed one of the most elementary errors in banking, borrowing money in the short term and investing in the long term. When interest rates went up, their assets lost a lot of value and put the institution in a problematic situation. Well, Larry, they borrowed money and invested in long-term government bonds, which were typically extremely safe and not volatile. And it's only recently where the yields have started chopping. That is not good at all. They used to be, they were steady. It was never an issue. And this is so hypocritical, because the amount of money that Silicon Valley Bank allegedly loaned out, JP Morgan has 10 times the amount loaned out. I believe they have $100 trillion in outstanding debt, and they could only pay back like 20 or 30 billion, something like that. It's the hypocrisy from these banks is insane. JP Morgan is doing what these small banks are doing, but at a massive scale. So with the IPO on its radar, Lending Club adds former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers to its heavyweight board. This was from 2012. So I was digging into this guy, Larry Summers. And sure enough, he joined this Lending Club board, a fast-growing peer-to-peer lending company that aims to connect creditworthy borrowers with smart investors. As the former U.S. Treasury Secretary joined the company's growing star-studded board of directors. So he joined this board in 2012 and ended up leaving in 2018. So he was there for 6 years. and he wrote a nice letter, for his for his farewell speech or whatever. What drew me to Lending Club is quite simply the model, a digital marketplace that connects borrowers with investors to simply access credit benefits, to simplify access to credit benefits, both sides, and provides real estate value. I'm excited to apply my expertise in improving the efficiency of financial services. There was no reason given as to why Mr. Summers left the board, but I don't think we should read too much into his departure. While Professor Athney joined the board this month to replace him. So where did he go in 2018? After being at the Fed, then he took a position at this Lending Club board. But in 2018, he joined Signet and Signet Bridge Bank, I believe. This is where I couldn't find anything. It kind of just gets very vague. And from this Signet in 2018, he kind of just was consulted, I guess. It just doesn't add up. So Circle, which is corporate VC Wall Street, has moved suddenly to after regulators shut down your bank. So it looked like BNY taking a bunch of the deposits, but the thing we talked about last stream was the technology that Signature Bank had. 24/7 clearinghouse that all exchanges used to deal with banks and each other on the clock. And that is where the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, and now Signature Bridge Bank, so they started a bank in 2019, I believe, this Bridge Bank, because they knew somehow they were going to acquire. Well, okay, they didn't know. They tried to build out their own rails, their own blockchains, their own technology, and it did not work. It was an epic failure. And that's why you're going to see them just now. Instead, they're fighting and then they join. Those are the last steps. And you're seeing the fighting now. And we're being told that staking is too risky for us. We just saw Coinbase being sued, Kraken being sued, all for staking. Meanwhile, they're rolling it out for institutions. MetaMask Institutional went live this week. The Hex Trust staking just went live for 6 additional blockchains this past week. But for retail, it's way too risky. According to infrastructure providers, Signature Bank's Signet payment network infrastructure remains intact after the takeover by the FDIC. Signet's blockchain builder, Tasset, has confirmed that Tasset's technology remains unperturbed, despite federal regulators taking over the New York-based Signature Bank on Sunday. Custody provider Fireblock said the network was unaffected on its side. Citing an anonymous source, CoinDesk said Signature's clients could still use the network with the bank and the FDIC to make customer deposits available. So they just stole this technology. The Treasury Department and the Fed just closed this bank that's doing the same thing JP Morgan's doing, but their loans are 10 times as much. Their liabilities are $100 trillion right now, and they could pay back less than 1% of that. But you have this douchebag right here telling you that, or Larry Summers telling you that it was egregious to see the elementary errors, borrowing money in the short term and investing in the long term. Larry, that's the same thing every bank is doing, but some don't have the a back door to the Fed. Well, now I guess they're all going to, but we'll see what happens. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire said the firm could not process USDC redemptions and minting, and noted the firm would use BNY Mellon for settlement. Circle confirmed later it would use Cross River to enable transactions during normal business hours. Coinbase, while neither confirming nor denying using Signet, said it would honor USDC redemptions. Center, a joint venture between Coinbase and Circle, issues USDC. Signet remains crucial to allow crypto traders to trade 24/7 after the collapse of Silvergate's exchange network. Circle relied on Signet and Signature to convert fiat to USDC and vice versa. So what really sucks about this is now we can't use ACH deposits anymore to get money onto the exchanges. I used to be able to just do a $500 transfer. It would be there and clear in a couple days and you could use it. Well, no longer can you do that. You have to now, I believe, do the bank wires, which are a complete nightmare. So they're just making this so hard for us to get into crypto. They don't want to make it easy right now. They want to stifle this, make it so risky, so dangerous that the average retailer just gives up and quits. And then in a year or 2 years, once there's staking rolled out, DeFi rolled out for institutions, for banks, for enterprises, only then will they allow us to do it and say it's safe for us. They need the framework in place. And when that happens, Fidelity, Bank of America, all these guys are going to be owning all these cryptos. They just acquired all the assets that Silvergate Bank and Silicon Valley had. They don't mention that in here. Crypto made up about 90% of deposits in Silvergate. According to Nick Carter, regulators took control of Signature Bank because it deemed Signet a systemic risk to the banking sector. Well, if Signet is a systemic risk, then so is every single bank here in this country. It's just criminal what's going on because the average person does not know. They can't see through the smokescreen. The seizure came despite claims by Signature board member Barney Frank that the bank was solvent. Being Crypto recently reported findings from a JP Morgan research report that detailed the difficulties crypto firms would have in replacing SEN and Signet. One of the things we lost with Silvergate and Signature going down is their 24/7, 365 settlement network called Sen and Signet. Well, guess what? Soups Rainian, CEO of FinTech Sardine. It didn't go down. It's back up and running, and it's running under Signature Bridge Bank. They took it from Signature Bank, and now it's under a Fed startup controlled bank, Signature Bridge. It's interesting how that works, huh? This stuff, it's criminal, honestly. And then the articles that come out and the way that they frame this is crazy when you see what really happened and you see why they're doing this. That they're doing this to acquire all of our crypto that we hold in storage wallets and exchanges, anything. All these banks want our assets so they can hold them because the crypto is the next asset class. The third, fourth revolution, whatever it is. These cryptos, these blue chip coins, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Quant, XLM, they're going to be the Fortune 500, the stock market of 20 years from now. Our kids, when they grow up, they're going to be investing in cryptos, I believe, and buying them just like stocks right now, but they're going to be derivatives. If the banks get what they want, they're going to swoop up all the assets right now for 90% from all-time highs, custody them, and then say it's safe for you guys to mess around with this, but we have to custody it here, and you guys get to trade a derivative like paper gold, paper silver. That's the end game for this, where they want to go. And this article was from July 2020, just talking about how this Copper and Signet team up to streamline institutional crypto trading. And I want to look into this Copper, who they are, because they're in the EU, and I was looking at their team, and when you look down at their leadership team and the person in charge, his name is Lord Hammond of Runnymede. That kind of makes me interested when there's some kind of royalty running this. So these guys, Copper Co., basically are integrated with Signet to do digital payments. The integration will allow institutional investors to quickly pay and settle in US dollars and other currencies. Copper already allows users to transfer digital assets between cold storage and exchange accounts through its walled garden infrastructure. So these guys are integrated with them, but I think they're too connected to be able to to whatever happened to Signature Bank. There's no way in hell they were going to pull this off with Lord Hammond of Runnymede. One call, he'd probably have the Rothschilds on the phone or Klaus Schwab or somebody, and he'd get real ugly for whatever bank that is. So I just found out about this guy. I'm going to look into them a little bit more, but it was interesting because they didn't get shut down. They're doing the same thing. I think they're doing it over in Europe, the same processing that they were doing over here at Signature Bank. So Copper Technologies claims to provide a gateway into the crypto asset space for institutional investors by offering a range of custody, trading, prime brokerage, and other products for more than 100 digital assets. According to Copper, its secure suite of tools and services enable digital asset managers to safely acquire, trade, and store cryptos and provide greater security, speed, and control. So this is, I don't know if this Copper company, what's going on with them now, but it looks like they are still here. They're still up and running, and this did not affect them. I don't know if it's because they're out of Europe or because they have Lord Hammond of Runnymede running the show. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But his name is Philip. Has had a distinguished career in British politics as a member of parliament for 22 years. Also served as, all right, whatever. But interesting that they didn't get shut down. Another thing that I want to talk about quick is I talked about that Oasis and Jump hack that happened a couple months ago on Maker's protocol. And when it went to court, a judge ruled that Maker has to find their admin keys or their multi-sig that they didn't know that they had. It magically came forward. So I was wondering what they were going to do, because you can't have a DeFi protocol that just found their admin keys and changed the protocol. People would flock out of there. So I was curious to see what was going to happen. So now the end game plan is a roadmap designed by the protocol's full co-founder to decentralize governance and improve DeFi innovation. Well, what's the point of all this if they had admin keys the whole time? There's a 11-step process now. And, to make amendments, a new set of boundaries to manage subcomponents, create modifiable yada, yada, yada. I don't trust this, though. If these guys had multi-sig and were able to go back and add a wallet and then move hackers' funds into that wallet they controlled, how do you know that any of this stuff the same thing can't happen once they come in with this new constitution? It just makes me really nervous that there's a lot of cryptos out there that have the same problem. We're just not being told about it. Any crypto that has been hacked, any protocol, any layer one or bridge is now susceptible to that same ruling that this judge gave for the Oasis and Jump hack, where judge ruled they need to go back and double check to see if they have multi-sig or admin keys or a way to roll back the chain. And sure enough, they did. And I heard this is going to affect Polygon, Chainlink, and a bunch of other cryptos out there, top 100 coins. So keep an eye out on this. This is something that they're going to come to a fork in the road again, where they're going to have to make a decision. So once there's legislation in place and once lawyers can go and use that ruling as like what do you call it? As not as evidence, but as like a referral or a case, that's really, really scary. And same thing here. U.S. bank regulators waging secret war on crypto, says law firm. And we all know this. This is nothing new. The Operation Chokepoint 2.0. Its white paper attempts to explain how regulators are issuing informal guidance documents that target crypto users deemed posing a high risk to banks. Well, I mean, this is really funny because at the same time, Fidelity's rolling out their institutional staking. They're putting Bitcoin now into their retirement funds. They have an entire crypto tab on their website. If you go to fidelity.com and you go to products, they have crypto in here now. And they're soon going to custody your crypto for you. And it's not going to be as bad as we think. So I thought that we were going to pretty much be shut out from the new system that all these banks were going to be using. But that's not the case at all. It looks like they're right now they're going to build out their walled gardens for their clients to use at first, but moving forward, they're going to build integration to cold storage wallets and MetaMask. So Fidelity and all these other companies, these institutions are going to at first hold all your crypto, but in the future, if you hold it in cold storage, you'll be able to send it in there or be able to hold it yourself while being credited at them. I'm not sure how it's going to work. They're building it out now, but interoperability is the key. They're going to use MetaMask to do all of this. MetaMask, if you guys don't know, MetaMask Institutional is already out right now. So if you go to their website, metamask.io/institutions, it shows you right here everything that they're doing. I'm not doing that. MetaMask Institutional is a compliant version of the world's leading Web3 wallet, MetaMask. Organizations trust us to manage their Web3 access and engagement with institution-required security, operational efficiency, and compliance. There's 6 core services: research, pre-trade compliance, liquidity data aggregation, monitoring, reporting, and custody. So this is all coming, guys. Right now, this is a choke point to get you to sell all your crypto, to get out of the market, and then to consolidate all the banks and make JP Morgan, Fidelity, the big boys, the major custodians of crypto. That's how they're going to make their money. Their old shenanigans are not going to work. So I was looking at this. JP Morgan, the amount of fines that they've paid in the last like 10, 15 years is insane. Just looking through some of these. Settling in 2011, misleading CDO investments, anti-competitive conduct in municipal bonds, 2011, 2012, foreclosure abuses and robo-signing, deceptive practices in offering of loan modifications, more mortgage misrepresentation, 2012, 270 million in fines, improper foreclosure, part 2, $1.8 billion in fines they paid to its already massive fine of $5.29 billion, totaling over $7 billion. It's the company's largest fine ever up to that point. So they've had a bigger fine than $7 billion. Like these guys are straight up criminals. Illegal credit card practices, the London whale. I mean, guys, this list goes on and on and on. Institutional mortgage securities. This is 2014. So the bottom line, in all, JP Morgan was fined $35.2 billion in a 3.5-year period. Nearly all the penalties were tied to the financial crisis and the company's promotion and use of mortgage-backed securities. So this stuff, they went on to manipulate gold. That didn't work. They got caught there. And now they're going to have to work their way into crypto. Everything on the blockchain is full transparency. That's these guys' worst nightmare. They can't pull this off. They can't manipulate gold on the blockchain with fake transactions, fake buy orders, fake sell orders, whatever they're doing. It's not an option. So what I think is happening is we are seeing a mass consolidation of all of the banks that have local branches that you can go into. That's a massive waste of rent right now. They're not needed. For every 10 retail locations, I'd say you need 2. So trimming 80% down is going to happen across the board. A lot of these small banks are all going to shut down and get consolidated up the ladder. And that's why these guys are all building out their platforms right now for Fidelity, for JP Morgan. Let's check JP Morgan and see what they have for their crypto stuff. Oh, this was Onyx. So yeah, Onyx was their blockchain that they've been settling God knows how much money. It's been running for years now. All right, let's see if crypto is on here yet. Institutional investors. Let's see if we can find something on crypto. I've never been to this website, so I'm gonna give up after 2 seconds here. Oh, there we go. Institutional asset manager. So they want to custody everything for you. You know, it's too dangerous right now for us to do crypto, to stake, to use staking. Well, why is the Hex Trust rolling out institutional staking? You know, as Coinbase is being sued right now for offering staking, the Hex Trust integrate traditional finance with the digital asset ecosystem. So I'm going to play this video. So this is all coming. You know, they just integrated all kinds of new blockchains into their services. They had DeFi and staking on here, and it was only with Hedera. And now there's 6 more blockchains added here that these guys are going to be able to use. And also, they now have connectivity to any DeFi ecosystem. So anything that's ERC20 compatible, you know, anything on the Flare network, anything on Songbird, anything on Hedera, they can now plug in. And I think MetaMask is going to be the wallet that connects to everything, whether institutions, retail. It's going to be a one-stop shop. You know, MetaMask is going to offer staking. It's going to offer all of that inside their wallet, in my opinion. You know, there's either going to be having these guys hold and custody everything for you, or you're going to be able to do it yourself and use MetaMask as like the wallet to connect to all these different platforms. And I was really nervous that we weren't going to be able to use them. We would kind of be shut out and they would be using their own networks, kind of like Onyx. But that's not the case. That's not what I'm seeing at all. What I'm seeing is at first they're going to be kind of walled off and we're not going to have access to them. But as they build out, they're going to have interoperability with cold wallets, with MetaMask, you know, with Atomic Wallet, with the stuff that we use. It only makes sense, you know. And then where they're really going to make their money in the long run is holding these assets themselves. They hold Hedera, XRP, and then they sell you a derivative, just like gold and silver right now. All the central banks hold all the gold and give us cash instead. The gold is the value, but the cash is trash. That's kind of the same thing. They're gonna be holding all the gold, the cryptos in their reserves in their accounts, and they're gonna be selling us derivatives of it, paper derivatives, saying, "Oh yeah, we hold it. It's here. Don't worry about it." And that's where, you know, I really think there's generational type wealth opportunities in crypto. You know, we're so early now. Just looking at the bubbles. You know, let's look at the last year. You know, so many down 80%, 70%. You know, I really think Cosmos is going to be around in 20 years. Cardano, I think, will be around in 20 years. You know, just Ethereum, Hex, obviously. You know, even Solana, Zcash, XRP. If you just kind of go through this list, Polkadot, XLM, if you can find a couple coins that you think are going to be around long term, they're going to be generational wealth opportunities in 20 years, 25 years from now. These are going to be the everyday stocks that are traded right now on, you know, the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones. You know, it just doesn't feel like that because this stuff is brand new. But as these markets mature, as things grow, as interoperability comes, as mass adoption comes to retail, you know, you see the writing on the wall. And when people think they missed the ship or they're too late, it's like, man, we're at $1 trillion in market right now. Imagine when we're at 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 50 trillion, $100 trillion. That's going to happen in the future. So you got to have diamond hands. You got to hold with conviction, know what you own. They're telling us staking is illegal, but they are rolling out staking for institutions right now. They wouldn't be doing this if they weren't going to legalize it. They would not be legalizing staking for institutions if they weren't going to say, this is how you do it safely. FTX, all that was so risky. It was crazy. It was so dangerous. But now we're doing it the right way. See, it works perfect. It works perfect with us. Now you guys can do it. But I think they'll either take a cut, they'll take a couple, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to make money off of crypto by holding their assets, by the staking rewards and offering a percentage of it. I'm not sure how, but Fidelity, JP Morgan, all these guys are having their crypto platforms built in. Fidelity has their business accounts open right now where you can open up a business account and trade Bitcoin on here. And it's all kind of coming together slowly but surely. You know, what's really, I think, going to be the tipping point is when Apple gives us the ability to hold our private data. Right now, we have to use the iCloud. All our data is on the iCloud. You're worried about it. It's not really yours. Well, in the future, that data, we're going to have a seed phrase, just like with our crypto, our 12 words. We're going to have a key string or seed phrase for our data from Apple. So we're not going to rely on somebody else. We are going to custody our own data in the future. And that's when hardware wallets are going to be built into phones. So you're not going to have to carry around a wallet with you. And another, that's where we're going in the future. And another thing that I saw was DREC by Hedera. And what these guys are doing are decentralized recovery. So the whole hot cold wallet thing is a huge problem. They're great right now, but they're too risky at the end of the day. When you can lose everything by losing your seed phrases, it turns people off from getting into crypto. So but this DREC, what they're doing is it's decentralized recovery where like a part of your seed phrase gets sent here. Like 3 words get sent to this contract, 3 words to this contract, 3 words to this contract. And once your seed phrase is spread out across the internet in smart contracts, it just goes back and every like 10 minutes just verifies that everything is still set and in place. So at any point you can go recover your seed phrase. You don't have to write it down, make 3 copies, bury it in the backyard, hide one at your stepsister's house, whatever it is. This is going to kind of be the next evolution, and I think bring mass adoption when you can recover crypto like that, or your seed phrase. It just makes everything kind of less risky. And once everything's interoperable, when MetaMask is syncable to JP Morgan's site, you can access your Fidelity account, you can move Bitcoin across accounts. That's what they're fearing right now. This whole Operation Chokepoint is happening because they do not want you to be able to. Well, we need interoperability in the future, but right now it's a bad thing. If you're at JP Morgan and your digital dollars through their account are interoperable, you can take your money there and move it to a different account, to a different country, to their competition. They don't want that. They don't want value moving around everywhere. They want to keep that value in a walled garden. And that's the problem right now. And that's what I think all of this is happening for. Why all this is happening, actually, is they need to be able to control everything and ensure that their money doesn't flow elsewhere. It stays there. I don't know how they're going to do that with like deposit tokens. If they're interoperable through these different platforms. I don't see that being an option. I see like stable coins are going to be needed. I think like with USDC, that's the only way you can move in between systems without pulling value out from the native system. Like your deposit token, you put $100 into JP Morgan, you have $100 in their deposit tokens. You can buy digital stocks, digital bonds, tokenized real estate, all that stuff on one website, but you can't send those deposit tokens to Fidelity or to Bank of America. You have to swap them out for your stable coins or whatever, and then transfer it elsewhere. So the value stays inside their ecosystems. But that's kind of where we're headed. And I think mass adoption is really going to help when we have our data in key strings and we control it. That's going to inevitably teach people how to custody crypto the right way without them even knowing it. Oh, yeah, you have a seed phrase for your data now. Well, now you have one for your crypto too. So now you control all your information and you're your own bank with the same seed phrase. And that kind of, I think, will really be a catalyst for mass adoption. And then once, Ledger and these hardware wallets are integrated into cell phones, so you don't have to carry 2 or 3 devices around with you. But it has to be safely done. And that's why, like that DREC, when they have this decentralized recovery coming, it's going to, I don't know why I can't find the website for it, but it's really, really cool. Being able to do this stuff. It's all coming in the future. And right now we're being fudded out. We're being told this is too risky. You got to sell everything. Everything's collapsing. That's the farthest thing from the truth. The banks want what we have. They want to be able to earn 37% staking hex. They want access to the yield these cryptocurrencies offer in their protocols. And staking is not illegal. Staking is illegal if Coinbase says yes. Hedera offers 6.5% staking in their native protocol, but we're going to give you 8.5%. Come with us. That's illegal. If they offered 6.5% and Coinbase says, yep, we can only offer 6.5%, that's perfectly legal as far as I'm aware. And that's why Kraken got in trouble. And Coinbase and even the Binance, this whole Binance suit, it's a civil suit. But this Binance lawsuit is not even a criminal case. It's a civil suit against them. So even if it goes bad, they'll just have to pay a fine. It's not the end of the world. CZ once again said it's pure FUD. Don't listen to this stuff. And they're going to come out and say the worst stuff. You'll hear that they had a bunch of accounts. CZ was trading back and forth between their inside accounts, rah, rah, rah. And I don't think it's possible. Or I don't think it was actually what happened at all. So I haven't looked into it. I just saw earlier that it was a civil case, and kind of that immediately I was like, all right, it's a civil case. It's not a criminal case. They're going to end up paying a fine. And at this point, if you look at it, it's not the SEC that sued them, but every big company, Amazon, Tesla, Ripple, Kraken, Coinbase, it's almost like you have to get sued by the SEC in order to thrive. It's like a rite of passage to do business in the United States. You got to pay your taxes in multiple ways. And, we'll see what happens here with this. I don't know what the actual charges were, but I'm not worried about it at all. The fact that it's a civil case, they can just pay a fine. Binance has a 90-day no trading rule for employees. Further, we have strict policies for anyone with access to private information. They're not allowed to buy or sell coins. Binance does not trade for profit or manipulate the market. Binance trades in a number of situations. Our revenues are in crypto. We do need to convert them from time to time to cover expenses. So those are the transactions in the wallets that they're allegedly moving money around in, I think. They're just doing everyday operations. CZ's been very transparent. He's always been there to do interviews. I don't know what Binance has developed the best-in-class technology to ensure compliance. It's the first global non-U.S. exchange to implement a mandatory KYC. We block U.S. users by KYC, IP. Yeah. Despite the complaint appears to contain an incomplete resuscitation of facts, and we do not agree with the characterization of many issues alleged. We will only be able to give a full response in due time. We will address a few points below. Yeah, I think this is just the rite of passage. I don't know how Binance is being sued, but for anyone that had an account at Voyager, if in order to get your 70% back that you had, you need to start an account with Binance US to go through the claims process. So it's just is so stupid, honestly, at the end of the day. All the FUD you hear, just ignore it, make a plan, create a plan, and stick to it, right? Pick whatever coins you like and set a goal. I want to stack 10 million hex. I want to stack a million flare, whatever it is. Put a goal together and stick to it. And don't deviate from it. Don't let emotions or headlines make any decisions for you. Do thorough research, try to look at the good and the bad. I like how Flare's pumping. I'm really excited. If you have Flare and you delegated it in the Bitfrost or Decent wallet, you just got a massive payment yesterday. 20% of your bag was just airdropped to you, and that was drop 1. There's 35 more coming. So I'm hearing you're going to 10x your bag without price, with just in tokens from the next 3 years. So that's what I'm about. We just collected our Corium for the last year from the Sologenics airdrops. We had our X Core snapshot. So we're getting our X Core in a month, and that's going to have a strike price where in 2 years, if it hits $10, you cash out right there. So it really cool. Passive income opportunities, they exist. Right now we're playing around on the Sui test net, trying to get that airdrop. Potentially, I didn't get the Arbitrum one because I was lazy, didn't do anything in the month of March. So I only did stuff in February. So if I did transactions in 2 months, it would have unlocked one or two of the sections for the airdrop. But instead, totally missed out. So now I'm going to try to get the Sui airdrop, just messing around on the test net, looking for that passive income. Luna's not looking. I was looking at the year down 100%. Man, I don't know, Rags, from $110 down to a thousandth of a penny. I mean, I guess, yeah, we're starting to all right, yeah, we bottomed out on the hourly. We're looking good. Yep. Mass consolidation. Let's check the week. Oh, yeah. All right, Rags, it's time to put our long in. I think I'm feeling confident. I'm going to sell all my Texan and double down on this Luna Classic long. But that's all I got for today, guys. Appreciate you stopping in. Tin Top, Godfather, J6, Lindsay the Hexagon, John May, and Piper. Appreciate the support. Don't listen to the FUD out there. Seriously. The banks want you out of crypto so they can come and swoop up your assets, stake them, earn yield, and then sell you a derivative back for 10 times the price in a couple of years in the bull market. The writing's on the wall. They would not be building out crypto platforms, institutional staking, interoperability, CBDCs, the Fed now having that Signet technology. It's the perfect rail to launch a CBDC. They have the infrastructure now to do it. 24/7, 365 clearing on that network. Even though it was banks doing it before, why can't they just create another 10 bridge banks and do it themselves now and control everything? Or let JP Morgan have some of it, or let Fidelity have some of it. There's a mass consolidation happening. I think there's going to be another black swan event in the next couple months. The banking system can't sustain right now. All the branches out there that pay rent, all the employees that are just standing around there, the tellers, they're not needed anymore. The kids that are 10, 12 years old now, in 6, 8, 10 years, this is all they're going to need. They're never going to use a physical branch. They're never going to need to go to a bank branch. They'll be able to mortgages, loans, real estate, cars, everything is going to be sold online as NFTs. We're seeing it right now. I forgot with LCX. I'm so busy, I haven't been able to get onto LCX and look at the that Galileo protocol. All right. All right. Oh God, I'm not doing this. All right, never mind. So this website is really cool though, guys. LCX regulated trading venue offering a range of digital currencies, token sales, tokenized diamonds. These things were really popular a couple weeks ago. These diamonds, I'd seen it a while ago, but they were $1 or something when they launched and they tanked like crazy. So it was just way too early for them. But let's see the market. Where is the? Oh, that's diamonds. Galileo protocol. I know that went live. So, and two, another thing that makes me super bullish is the fact that they have all these cryptos on here as trading pairs. So if they were all going to be ruled illegal securities or this or that, they wouldn't be on these sites already available for trading, in my opinion. You have all these different coins on here. Yeah, this just makes me so bullish. And then the Galileo protocol that is launching where you can sell high-end stuff on here. I can't find. I don't know where it was. I think you had to sign in, but through NFTs, that's going to be done. Sports cars, supercars, Rolexes, all that being sold as NFTs, paintings, art. That's the future, guys. It's all coming to the blockchain. They just need to set the infrastructure first and roll it all out and show you how it's done. Even though we all know how to do it safely, we know how to stake, we know how to custody our own assets. The average person doesn't. So until there's guidelines and a path saying, look, that's how you do it right there. Through Hex Trust, that's how you do it. Google is now staking or is now earning yield. They run a node on the Hedera network. So Google, once they have it lined out and you can watch how it works for them, then businesses can then follow. And then for Fidelity, they have their crypto platforms being built in. So once they show you, come in, trade, this is how you do it. And then they build out their MetaMask interoperability. So you can then bring in your crypto that was on a hardware wallet to their platform. That's how they're going to do this. They're not going to just try to shove everything down your throat and have people run for the hills. They want to build this out. So you in the future, once they keep building, you move and integrate with them, not divide and draw a line in the sand. I really don't see that happening. Their ETFs now, they have their crypto ETFs, their metaverse ETF, their digital payments ETF. It's all coming. You just don't hear about that. Bitcoin in 401ks for workers, that's all coming. And this is going to all be a catalyst that just sparks this next bull run that is going to be so big, in my opinion. I think it's going to catch people by surprise, this next bull run. I really do think we're going to get up to 10 or 12 trillion dollars, and we hit like just over 3 last bull run. Man, it's going to be super exciting. So the Pulse chain could launch any day now, honestly. And if there's any inkling that Pulse is coming, that Hex price is going to just soar. And I think we might see new all-time highs before we launch. I could be wrong, but I really do. My gut tells me we're going to be in for a hell of a ride in the next couple months. So if you're not followed, please follow us, Vibra Finance, on Twitter, on YouTube, like, share, whatever you want to do, whatever you got to do. We appreciate the support. Trying to grow a small channel, talking about stuff we do. We're so shadow banned, but that's all right. If you're here now, you're early. Hopefully you're getting some alpha out of this. Make some good decisions, and hopefully stay clear of all the FUD and helps you sleep at night, not worrying that, all the stuff you've worked for in the future is for no good. It's not the case at all. Interoperability is coming. It takes time. As we know, for Pulse Chain, great things take a long time. So I will be back 24 hours from now, Wednesday morning, with another stream. Till then, be good.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.